cheer there greeted the amateur team Jubilee from Featherstone, who are here to play Keighley in the preliminary round of the John Player Cup. And obviously they brought a big vociferous crowd with them to support them on this first preliminary round. Well, now, first of all, the teams. Keighley, number 1 Butterfield, number 2 Bargett, number 3 Braga, number 4 Rowe, number 5 Mather. The halfbacks, number 6 Johnson, number 7 Moses. The pack, number 8 Fairhurst, number 9 Proctor, number 10 Turner, number 11 Green, number 12 Fisher, and 13 the loose forward Hawksworth, with the subs this afternoon, Winterbottom and Pitts. Now the Jubilee team from Featherstone, the number 1 Smith, number 2 Ellis, number 3 Kellett, number 4 Howarth, number 5 Davis. The halfbacks, Bedis, number 6, and Sheldon, number 7. The front row, number 8 Ward, number 9 Jackson, number 10 Wayne. The second row, number 11 Booth, and number 12 Sheldon, who is captain and brother of the Sheldon playing at number 7, and number 13 the loose forward Norris. And their subs, number 14 Walker, number 15 Barker. The referee this afternoon is a Mr. Kendrew. Now at the moment the Jubilee team are out on the pitch having their photograph taken, and they're playing in a white strip with black hoops on it, not a complete set of hoops, just a black band across the middle of a narrow black ring, a thicker one and another narrow one. Very smart looking team, 1 or 2 big lads amongst them, and I feel certain this afternoon that they've come here knowing Keighley's position in the league and the number of wins they've had. They'll have come here determined that if they're ever going to have a chance of making progress in the John Player Cup, this is going to be their day. And let us hope that Keighley are equally determined, after 1 or 2 rather disastrous results this season, that this is not going to be so, and that they are going to progress to the first round proper. Now your cameraman this afternoon is Marcus Smith. Your commentators, myself, Jeff Rundle, and Henry Bird. And as I'm speaking now, we are waiting for the Keighley team to come out. It's a very fine sunny day, but extremely cold. The sun is very low in the sky. In fact, the shadow from the posts at the top end of the field stretch the full length of the field, so the sun is very, very low indeed, and could well cause a good deal of trouble to whoever's playing uphill in the first half. Now, whether that sun in the second half will have gone from there, I don't know. So I will think that whoever wins the toss has quite a difficult decision to make this afternoon. On looking at this Jubilee team, they've got 1 or 2 very, very big lads amongst them. And there's a cheer for Keighley from the Keighley crowd, and a big boo from the Jubilee crowd as Peter Rowe leads out the Keighley team. And so we're all set for what promises to be an interesting and lively game this afternoon. And the crowd that you can hear are certainly not
somebody here from Jubilee supporting.
Are certainly not Keighley supporters. They are Jubilee supporters in the stand next to us, making as much noise as possible. And at the moment, I can't quite understand why there are so many people standing on the pitch down here. Whether this is common practice for Jubilee supporters, I don't know, but somebody ought to move them, because they're very, very near to the touchline side, and I would have thought in a dangerous position.
Well, when he comes out, Jeff. Could I just say that Len Sheldon, the captain of the Jubilee side, watched Keighley at Doncaster and was quoted as saying they are quietly confident. They're not a small side, are they?
No, not by any means. Now this crowd is still standing on the touchline side down here in front of this stand, and I would have thought that the referee would have insisted. I mean, there's no shortage of space in this ground. I thought that the referee would have insisted that these people were moved away from the pitch edge before this game started. Well, nobody seems to have moved them yet. They're still there. And it's time somebody moved them before this game starts. And at the moment I can't quite work out what's happening. We're going back to the centre of the field, and it looks as though the two captains are coming up to shake hands, but still this crowd is standing on the touchline side down here, and no attempt has been made to move them, because it's quite likely that there is nobody here that could move them.
I think they're probably the right other way around. If he's number 11, he must be Sheldon, the captain, and Booth must be at 12, Jeff. Because it is definitely Sheldon who is captain.
Well, we think probably number 11 and number 12, the numbers are the wrong way round at the moment, but we haven't sorted that one out yet. The referee and the touch judge are in the centre of the field at the moment. One of the touch judges, no, both touch judges. And the referee's telling both captains, he's giving them both a lecture about what he wants and what he expects, I would think, from the two teams. The coin is tossed in the air, it comes down, and Rowe has won the toss and elected to play downhill in the first half. So he's got the sun behind him, and still this crowd are standing on the touchline side down here, which, as I say, it does surprise me very much indeed. Now, whether they're standing on the hard tarmac bit, I don't know, but there's no need for them to be there at all. And so, as the whistle goes to start this game, I hand you over to Henry to begin the commentary.
Thank you, Jeff, and you'll have heard, as Jeff said, this vociferous support for the Jubilee team as Butterfield collects the ball from the kick-off, the Keighley full-back, and brings play up to the Keighley 25 in the centre of the field, and they don't look small at all. This could be very interesting as Turner, the front row forward for Keighley, is dumped down very quickly, still inside the Keighley 25. Proctor, the Keighley hooker, trying to find a way through, runs into trouble there. Sheldon, the second row forward, pulls him down. Coming left, and it's Paul Moses with the ball, little jinking run, trying to get his pass away, but he's held there by Ward and Wayne, the two front row forwards, and this Jubilee team going to give nothing away. They're in the 5th round of the Barla Cup as Jessup, the Keighley standoff today, makes play mid-made between the Keighley 25 and the halfway line. A kick for touch by Paul Moses, excellent. Finds touch on the Jubilee, Featherstone Jubilee, 25-yard line. And as I was saying, they've reached the 5th round of the Barla Trophy. They were in the semi-final last year of the Barla Cup. They're a very, very good team, quietly confident, and some very experienced players there. Looking very smart indeed. Keighley in their colours, and very quickly, scrum half Sheldon picks up Moses, and it's Green, the second row forward for Keighley, who was absent last week at that dreadful game at Sheffield, to Fairhurst, and Fairhurst, the Keighley front row, pulled down 20 yards short of the Jubilee line, and one of the Jubilee players receiving attention. Moses turns the ball back inside to Turner. Turner, the front row forward, he's thumped down by the two front row forwards who are getting through some work for Jubilee. Back to Proctor. Moses along past the right to Rowe, to Braga, and the ball's loose, and it's standoff Bedis for Jubilee, who collects that loose ball, puts Jubilee in possession for the first time. Over on the left there, and it's Sheldon, their captain and second row player, pushed back, and the referee's going to penalise Keighley for that tackle. Too high, he said. And the great roar of here we go from these Jubilee supporters. And it's a free kick then, going to be taken by number 4, Howarth, centre 3/4. Places the ball to get distance and accuracy, and kicks for touch over on the far side of the field, and finds it 10 yards outside the Keighley 25. So the first attacking position that Jubilee have had this afternoon, this amateur team, and the referee has stopped the clock because we're short of a ball. The referee this afternoon, Mr. Kendrew, and as Jeffrey said at the beginning, had a quick word with both captains about what he was expecting. And there, a move by Jubilee there. Sheldon throws the ball loose. It's picked up by a Jubilee player. The referee says no. Knock on. Scrum back to just outside the Keighley 25 in the centre of the field. But some very slick move there by the Jubilee players who were taking advantage of a loose ball. Jeff, they don't look any pushover, do they?
Certainly not. Certainly.
5 minutes gone then, still no score. Keighley ball from the pack. Moses, a nice pass there to Jeff Butterfield, but very well tackled indeed. Butterfield there right to Braga. Braga, the centre three-quarter for Keighley, sees a gap, decides he'll go through it, looking around for support, gets it to Peter Rowe, who's playing in the centre, and he was badly missed last week at Sheffield as well. And I'm glad he's on the field to put some leadership into this Keighley team. Fairhurst brings the ball 10 yards outside his own 25, 10 yards in from touch. An electric atmosphere here as Adam Fisher, the second of the New Zealand forwards, brings play almost up to the halfway line. Play back there to Proctor. Proctor to Moses. Moses to Johnson. And Johnson knocks the ball on because he took his eye off the ball to watch the man coming in. So it's a scrum down midway between the Keighley 25 and the halfway line. And still this Jubilee crowd go on singing. Jubilee ball. And the referee, Mr. Moses, the referee says, Moses, get onside. And it's a free kick to Jubilee directly in front of the post, 30 yards out. But of course it's a scrum infringement, so it will be a differential penalty. And Howarth, centre three-quarter, is going to kick for this near side touch. 6 minutes gone, 0-0. A decent crowd down here at Lorcombe this afternoon, and he kicks right-footed. It's a high one. Isn't going to go in. Yes, it is. Rowe went for it. He was challenged in mid-air by the wingman, right wingman Ellis. Big lad. In fact, they're not small, the backs at all. Scrum half there, Sheldon. The scrum collapses. Mr. Kendrew says, get up, go down properly. 10 yards in from this near side touch on the Keighley 25. Nice little pass inside there. The ball was knocked on as the ball came from scrum half Sheldon to the wingman, the right winger Ellis, and he knocked the ball on. So it's Keighley ball this time. In it goes. It's going to be Keighley ball, and Moses quickly snapped up, but the referee will penalise scrum half Sheldon there for offside at the scrum. Free kick to Keighley, and John Green, the Keighley second row forward, is going to take this penalty and kick for touch on this side of the field from the Keighley 25. And it's a long one, it's a high one, it's a good one. Finds touch midway between the Jubilee 25 and the halfway line on this side of the field. And Proctor will take the short tap penalty there, and I think Keighley have got everything cut out today. Jubilee offside again. Now what are we going to do? I would have thought we should have a pot at goal here, and Peter Royce suggesting Fairhurst does. And quite rightly so, because at Sheffield we did not take a kick that we should have done. And so Ian Fairhurst, who was sent to the sin bin last week, and I can't believe it of Ian Fairhurst ever saying anything untoward, is going to try and kick this penalty goal. It's a long one, it's about 35 yards, fairly almost directly in front of the left-hand upright, and he kicked a good goal or two last week at Sheffield, thank goodness. Keighley must take the chances, take the goal kicks. Those 2 points could be vital at the end of the game, and no matter what the Jubilee players do, I don't think it's going to unduly worry Ian Fairhurst. The kick's right-footed, it's a long one, it's a high one, and it's there. So, 8 minutes gone, Keighley 2, Jubilee 0. And so we've got 2 points on the board. I was talking to Jeff Beggs earlier in the week, who at the moment is on sick leave as Keighley coach. He said Jubilee have got some good forwards but nothing in the backs. Well, we'll have to wait and see whether his prophecy comes true. But they certainly look a useful sight to me. Some big, powerful forwards. And you don't get where they are second in their Premier Division of the Yorkshire League without being good. And Jeff Butterfield, the Keighley full-back, decides to bring play away by himself and brings it 1 yard outside his own 25 in the centre of the field. The ball going to the Keighley right, and it's Turner. No, it's not. It's Adam Fisher, second row forward, who's been injured. Back in action, out to the right goes the ball to Turner, the front row forward. Looks round for support on the inside. Couldn't get his pass in. But midway between the Keighley 25 and the halfway line, and the ball coming left. Long pass from Paul Moses to Johnson. The ball juggled there by Green, and he's going to be held, but gets the ball away to Mick Hawksworth. Mick Hawksworth makes a break down this side, steps out of one tackle, just held by the ankle, and it's little Johnson. Johnson sees a gap, he's over the halfway line, jinks or tries to jink round full-back Smith, with a beautiful tackle, but Keighley on the rampage at the moment, and Moses puts a high kick ahead in. He's following it up This could be dangerous. The ball goes loose, and it's going to be a knock-on 20 yards in front of the post for a scrum down. And Keighley are winning quite a bit of possession, so let's see if we can get it in this good attacking position. But a little bit of life, a little bit of gut play by Keighley. And I would imagine if Jubilee, I know they'd watched us at Doncaster, but if they watched us at Sheffield, they'd think they're on a real one. And here comes Butterfield into the lineup as an inside pass from Johnson finds him coming through on the burst. And that's what Keighley have got to do. They've got to take the ball on the burst. And it's Braga, but very well tackled indeed there by number 5, Davis, the left winger. And it's Rob Proctor trying to find a way through to Moses. Moses, a long pass out, but it was luckily knocked on by the loose forward there, Norris. And the referee is saying play on, and again it's knocked on and picked up by John Green, and he's going for this corner, and he's looking round and he couldn't get a pass because the players had come on the left of him. He couldn't see them. Peter Rowe to Mather had passed inside to Green. Green couldn't accept it, knocks it on. Scrum down 10 yards out, and plenty of excitement here with 11 minutes gone and the score. Keighley 2, Jubilee 0.
Can't help feeling they've had 2 half chances where if play had been opened out they might have had a chance. One with Hawksworth up here and one down there.
Yes, Jeff, I'm sure you're absolutely right. We didn't use our wings at all last week. In fact, that's the first time Mathers touched the ball for a game and a half. Anyway, it's Jubilee in possession just outside the 25, and loose forward Norris there swings the ball away to a colleague who's quickly pulled down. I think it's Bedis, their standoff half. No, it's not, it's second row forward Booth. Left there, little squat figure with a headband on, one of the front row forwards, either Ward or Wayne. It's Wayne because Ward's much thinner on top. Going left, long pass out there from scrum half, goes astray, picked up by Johnson, out to Joe Bargett on the right, and Joe Bargett's thumped down, but Keighley in possession just inside Jubilee territory on the far side of the field, and Keighley really got to move the ball. Turner, they've got to try and go forward, and the sun seems to be bothering Keighley at the moment. I would have thought it was bothering the other team more. Inside pass to Green. Green trying to find a way through, well held there. And it's Keighley still going, just inside the territory. Peter Rowe, the Keighley captain, gets the ball away to Mather. Mather thrusts off one man, rounds another, going to score, but Mr. Kendrew said, come on, let's have you back. It was a forward pass, quite rightly so it's a scrum down midway between the Jubilee 25 and the halfway line, 10 yards in from this near side touch, and the sun still streams down, and the snow that was forecast in Fraser has not come, and the referee has penalised the scrum half Mick Sheldon there for pouncing on Moses as the ball came out in an offside position, and it's another free kick for Keighley. Over enthusiasm, I think, on the Jubilee players' side, but they look a very likely side. And John Green kicks for touch, good one, high one, takes play 15 yards from the Jubilee line on this side of the field, and that's where the tap penalty will be taken by Rob Proctor. And we've got to take this ball on the burst. He takes it quickly, he's racing for the line by himself, and he's held just a few yards short. Keighley in a good attacking position. 2-0 to Keighley at the moment, and Moses swings it out to the right to Turner, and Turner decides to go on his own, and it will get them nowhere. The gaps are closing immediately. They've got to sling this ball about, and here comes a Keighley move to Moses, to Hawksworth. Hawksworth looking round, slings a pass out to Johnson. Johnson jinks, turns inside, has his ankle tapped, he's still going, racing for the line, and a very nippy little standoff is proving to be. And all the gap at the far side, Moses has seen where the gap is. He's absolutely livid. He was going to swing play the other way and he'd knocked the ball on. So it's a scrum down 15 yards out from Jubilee line, directly in front of the post, and the score remains Keighley 2, a penalty by Fairhurst, to 0, and it's a Jubilee ball, and it's scrum half. Sheldon goes loose, the ball goes loose, it's picked up there by the full-back, and he brings play just outside his line, Smith, and my goodness, if Paul Moses could have got his legs free and dropped on that, it would have been 4 points to Keighley, but he didn't, so play goes on, and it's Bedis the standoff, trying to bring play away, and Keighley really penning Jubilee back down within 10 yards of their own line. Ball out to the left there. Booth, the second row forward with it, takes play almost up to his own 25, over on the far side of the field. 14 minutes gone in this exciting game. It's going to be a kick through here by one of the players. It's collected well inside his own half there by Jeff Butterfield, who races into Jubilee territory before he's pulled down 10 yards outside the 25, but a good run. One of the Jubilee players looking a little bit sick there. It's Hooker Jackson. The ball to the left there to Mick Hawksworth. Reach through to Mather. Mather beats one man. Two, looking round for support. Pulled down 10 yards short. Keighley not backing up as they should have done there. The ball loose. And it's going to be a Jubilee ball. Keighley have lost it. Paul Moses slipped up there, I'm afraid. And some excellent play there by Keighley. What a shame, because Mather beat two men so easily. But Jubilee in possession inside their own 25. Number 10, Wayne, the front row forward with the ball. Plays it back to Ward. Ward, the other front row man, held. And the ball going left, a little kick through there, and the referee's going to penalise Keighley. That was a very good dive. Do you think, Jeff, that he's looking for an Oscar?
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Well, he's waiting for the chap with the Magzic sponge to come on, but Keighley have been penalised for tripping a player as he was going through after the grubbing kick. He's now receiving attention at the moment. Is it full-back Smith? I'm not sure. No, it's scrum half Mick Sheldon. And it will be a kick from just outside the Jubilee 25 to be taken by Howarth, the centre three-quarter. Mick Howarth was going to kick towards us in the stand here. Right-footed kick. And it goes into touch there, and somebody's got a hooter here. And that crowd are encroaching on the field down to the right, Jeff. I don't think it's on at all. Anyway, the referee, Mr. Kendrew, is certainly having trouble with the sun, and if this sun doesn't go down before Keighley turn over, they could. But from the play the ball, it's Ward, the front row forward, little balding tubby bloke with a headband on, takes play just inside the Keighley half in the centre of the field. 16 minutes gone, 2-0 to Keighley. And it's number 10 there, Wayne, the other front row forward, takes play another few yards forward, and it's going left. Sheldon to Beddis. Beddis swings the ball inside beautifully to Booth. But Booth's tackled 10 yards inside the Keighley half in the centre of the field. Coming over to this right-hand side. And Jubilee still in possession. 10 yards from the Keighley 25. Hooker Jackson to the left there to Norris. Norris to Sheldon and a forward pass a mile. And it's finally dropped on by a Keighley player. I think it's Adam Fisher, second row forward, and Keighley in possession now. What can we do with it as John Green sets off on one of his runs, but he's quickly pulled down. 18 minutes gone, first half. Proctor looking around for support. Can't get his pass in though, he's held on the halfway line with three Jubilee players. And Keighley looking quite effective when they move this ball. And away goes John Green again. But there's nobody with him. And Keighley have got to run onto this ball with speed. Moses with it now. Swings the ball out to the right to Johnson, who's having a good game at stand-up. Jinks swerves through the middle there. He's still going. He's beaten two or three men. He's very elusive little runner. As Mr. Kendrew says, 6 tackle coming up. And it's a pass to the right, and Paul Moses is going to kick. Yes, he puts a little kick ahead. This could be dangerous. It bounces there for this, and he collects it. Swings it inside to Fairhurst, who dropped the ball with an open line. And what a lovely move by Paul Moses. And I think Paul stopped one there, but he's all right, he's getting up. Neat little kick through. The full-back Smith juggled with the ball, lost it. Paul Moses took it, had his ankles taken from under him, swung the ball inside to Fairhurst, who was backing up. Let's give Ian Fairhurst credit, but he couldn't accept the pass with an open line. Jubilee got the ball from the scrum, 15 yards out, and Jubilee in possession. 2 points to Keighley, the score remains at the moment, 2 points to 0. And 18 minutes, 19 minutes gone in this first half. But Jubilee bringing the ball slowly up to their own 25, out to the right there to Wayne, the front row forward. He brings play up to the 25 in the centre of the field. Perhaps playing into Keighley's hands, keeping it in the middle. Yeah. Anyway, it's number 13, Norris, a nice pass there to front row forward Wayne, or is it? No, it's not. It's number 11, Sheldon, the captain, who swings the ball, a long pass out to the left there, which must be a forward pass, and Joe Bargett bravely went down to get the ball, and the referee said, come on, knock on, we're going to have a scrum down 5 yards outside the Jubilee 25 over on the far side of the field. Jeff?
Yeah, I can't help thinking this crowd down here on the touchline side worries me, because if there was any trouble and they invaded the pitch, the game would be called off and Keighley would be blamed for not having proper crowd control.
That's right, and the referee's already warned them before the game. Pass out there to Braga. Braga has to juggle with the ball. We lost 15 yards with that move. We're nearly back to the halfway line, coming left now. Hawksworth with the ball, sees a gap, decides he'll go on his own, and he's going to be held there, but nobody could get the ball away, but he dropped it, and referee Mr. Kendrew, give him credit, was on the spot to see it. Scrum down, Jubilee 25, centre of the field. Score still remains the one penalty goal by Ian Fairhurst, 2 points to 0, by Jubilee. And Peter Rose suggesting the Keighley team get up, ready to tackle. Back to Smith, the fullback, who's going to be tackled in possession on his own 25-yard line. Gets up slowly, plays it back to Bedis, the standoff. Socks around his ankles, decides he'll go on his own, but he doesn't get very far. 19 minutes gone, and we haven't seen a try yet. Having said that, Boo, the second row for Jubilee, takes play almost up to the halfway line. Hooker gets it away to Ward over on the right. A good little powerful front row forward takes play up to the halfway line, 10 yards in from the far touch. And a forward pass, I would have said, but the referee says play on as Booth breaks, gets his pass in there. This could be dangerous. It's coming over to the right here to the wingman. The wingman going to race for the corner, but Mather tackles him into touch. And the crowd are on this field, and it's just not on at all. And the referee wants to get them back. And an announcement there. Scrum down 10 yards out from the Keighley line. 2 points to 0. Keighley to feed the pack. It's a Keighley ball. Referee loose. Offside, I am absolutely positive there must be. Norris was offside. It's a free kick to Keighley, 10 yards from their own line. And these people on this touchline really ought to be told they can't hear the announcement, but they should get back. And as Jeff said, if there was any trouble, we could have real trouble down here if there was any trouble on the field. As John Green kicks for touch, finds it 5 yards outside the Keighley 25, and the referee stops the clock, and he's telling those people to get back, and they should be told to get back into the stand. It's absolutely ludicrous. 20 minutes gone then in his first half. Keighley 2, Jubilee 0, and the referee says get back and wait until they've played the ball. And at this point, for continuation of commentary, I'll hand you over to Jeff.
Well, thank you, Henry, and a very exciting 20 minutes, which has gone very, very quickly indeed. Both sides throwing the ball about, although at this stage, if I'm honest, I think I must say that Keighley do look the slightly more dangerous when they throw the ball about. But of course, they're not going to do themselves any good by taking a free kick like that one, which didn't go into touch, and is caught by a Jubilee player, and he's tackled on the 25 line. So it's Jubilee with the ball on the 25 line. Obviously going to try and clear the lines, but that's wasted possession, and you can't afford that. A short pass out there to the number 8 Ward, who's had a very prominent part to play in this game so far, with some very short telling bursts, and another telling burst there by another Jubilee forward. I can't see who it is at the moment. It's his partner on the front line, Wayne, and he's tackling possession. Now a long pass out there on the far side to centre 3/4 Howarth, but he'll be tackled in possession. So it's Jubilee inside their own half of the field, and a kick there which is caught by Joe Bargett. Bargett running across field, tries to break through, but he's well pulled down there by by the number 6 Bedis. So Hawksworth tries to make a break, and it's a free kick to Keighley, holding the player in the tackle, not letting him get up and play it. And so Green comes up to kick for touch again. Now let's hope he's a little more successful this time. Make sure the ball goes in even if we don't get the distance. And it does. So that puts Keighley on the attack just outside the Jubilee 25 line. And a tap penalty there played by Proctor. He runs forward, takes 2 men with him, and he's tackled on the 25 line. Now it's Moses, takes the play back, puts in a pass out there to Fisher, and Fisher will be held. Fisher's held. Keighley not making a great deal of ground. It looks like a planned move, does this? And it was Hawksworth who so nearly got through then, but the cover was across, but it's taken play in over the 25 line in the centre of the field. Now Keighley throwing the ball across to the right. Now it's Johnson who dummies as if to pass, doesn't do so, does a little jinking run, loses his footing, and he's pulled down on the 25 line. So Keighley actually lost ground there. Now it's Green with a nice little burst there, and he's still going, and he's got his pass in there to Fisher. Fisher going for the line, he's going to score!
That's the 2 New Zealanders playing
Under the post in the centre of the field, the New Zealand pair for Keighley, Fisher and Green. Green really made it to start with. He held off 2 or 3 tackles and managed to get his pass in, but all credit to Fisher, because Fisher should really have been held. There was a man with his arms round him, but he managed to break away, and so that's a score right in front of the post. So that makes it Keighley 6, Jubilee 0, with 25 minutes gone in the first half of this game. And it's Fairhurst for Keighley to try and put 2 more points on the board. And Keighley's backing up and handling has certainly been faster and speedier than the Jubilee. And another 2 points. So that's Keighley 8, Jubilee 0. And maybe Jeff Beggs' forecast is right, because the pack are useful at foraging, they're useful at tackling, but they haven't had any real combined moves. Well, one move probably up at the corner.
They've not given the backs the ball once,
No.
have they?
Keith would look more dangerous.
Yes,
to be
but
fair.
I hope they don't relax now.
So do I. So do I.
To row, won't
They want as many points as they can on the board in this particular game.
they? Playing downhill.
So it's a kick-off from the halfway line. Caught by Jeff Butterfield, running upfield. He'll run up as far as he can and be tackled in possession. And he's still going. Still going. Over the mark, 10 yards outside the Keighley 25, and now the ball moving across to the right, a short pass out there to Proctor. Rob Proctor going forward, taking men with him, and he's taking play to the halfway line, but the referee's stopped play for some reason. The touch judge is coming on. And I think he's giving a free kick, and I think he's going to penalise Sheldon, the scrum half, for some offence there. And it's a free kick for Keighley, and Sheldon has been penalised. So it's Green to put the ball into touch as far down the far side of the field as he can, the small stand side. A very casual kick, gains 25 yards probably, and it will be the tap penalty now, 10 yards inside the Jubilee half of the field and on the far side. And I think probably Rowe's policy of playing down in the first half is going to pay dividends, because this sun is rapidly moving down the field. Jubilee still have it in their eyes, but by the second half I feel it will have disappeared. And it's a tap. And it's Keighley still in possession, but they've lost ground there. Lost ground, pushed back to nearly to the halfway line. It was Rob Proctor there who didn't really get moving at all. And everybody stood while Fairhurst passed the ball, and they've still got the ball moving on the far side. Butterfield out to Mather. A lovely pass to Bargett. Bargett downfield. Can't get away. Couldn't get his pass in, but very well tackled by the wingman on the far side of the field. Now Keith in a good attacking position if they can capitalise on it and get this ball moving. And at the moment, it's Rob Proctor who's let the ball go. It's Green with the ball, coming across field, pushing one man out, then another. Out to Hawksworth. Hawksworth down the middle of the field to Rowe. Back again to Hawksworth. And back to 6 tackles, and Keighley, some beautiful backing up there and some beautiful play. Now it's Rowe. Put in a pass and it's been dropped. Fairhurst dropped the ball again, and it's a Jubilee ball on the try line.
It's blooming awful fast there.
I would have thought, I was a bit surprised Bargett didn't beat that wingman, but he's obviously a very experienced wingman on the far side, because he covered him well. I think he allowed for him going out to the touchline side and cut him off.
What's pleased me is the backing up. There were 2 other Keighley players up with Bargett then when he'd made that.
As Henry says, they're backing up, and they're backing up well, and they're passing well, and we're seeing some sparkling play from Keighley at the moment. So it's Jubilee in possession in the centre of the field, and a kick for touch, and it will probably find touch. It's a very good kick, yes, very good kick, has found touch just inside the Jubilee half of the field. So it will be a scrum down in front of the main stand with 27 minutes gone in the first half of this game. And the packs go down, and the ball comes out very, very quickly indeed, across to Rowe. A long pass out to Mather on the far side. He's running round one man, can't get his pass in. Very, very well tackled there by Howarth, who was covering very well indeed. They never really, the passing was very pedestrian there. They weren't taking the ball on the burst, and consequently they hadn't the speed to cut through. And it's Mather at the moment who's got in his pass there, out to Johnson in the centre of the field, and Johnson going through, and certainly one or two of these Keighley players are causing problems when they get moving. Long pass out there to Green. Green did very well to take that. He's still on his feet, puts in a pass back to Proctor. Proctor's putting a pass to Green. Green still going, and a pass out there to the loose forward of Jubilee, who's running across field, but will be well tackled. Right into his hands, right into Norris's hands there. And so it's Jubilee in possession. And I think that will be a penalty against Green for pulling the Jubilee player down. It's their number 4, Howarth, by using his leg. Yes, free kick to Jubilee on the far side of the field. And a very, very exciting and interesting game this afternoon. So a kick for touch. Obviously they're going to try and find as much ground as they can, and it's a long raking kick which takes play to midway between the Jubilee 25 and the halfway line on the far side of the field. And Keighley certainly looking confident at the moment. 8 points lead, but of course overconfidence is a thing they want to avoid at all costs, because a very useful side, this Jubilee side, playing very, very good rugby, which would not disgrace any team at all. In fact, good as many second division teams. Now the ball moving across, and it's the forwards who are trying to batter their way through. They certainly are not opening it up a great deal among the 3 quarters at the moment. And a nice pass out there to the number 12, but he'll be pulled down on the halfway line. Yes, it's the number 12, Sheldon. Oh, we think it's Booth. We think they're the other way around. Are we right? Oh, and a loose ball there. It should be a Keighley ball, I would think. Yes, it's a Keighley ball. I think it's Hawksworth who's got it. Right. Hawksworth with the ball. Short pass to Fairhurst. Fairhurst runs into trouble, takes 2 or 3 men with him before he's tackled in possession. And so Keighley in possession. And it's Proctor on one of his runs down the middle of the field looking for support, and nobody there once again. And it's no good if Proctor's going to make these little runs and make a few yards and can get a pass in. Somebody has to be up in support. Now planned move here that went to Hawksworth going down the middle, and he's still going strong with a full back to beat, but nobody to pass to, but he's stuck to the ball. And so that puts Keighley well down in the side, the 25, Jubilee 25, and across to the far side, and there's enough men to score twice here, and it's Green who has that ball, and he's lost it. Taken out of his hands by a Jubilee player. And Green cut inside when there were men on the outside in support. And so it's Jubilee with the ball on their own 25 line at the moment.
Just kept calm a little bit. There's about 3 more tries with Keighley.
Yes, they've just probably been too many men there and too elaborate, when straightforward passing out to the wings would probably have resulted in a try. And a knock on there by the Jubilee prop forward. I think it's Ward there, and it will be a scrum down. And we're waiting for Wayne to come up, take his place in the pack. He's limping in a bit, and that's a Keighley ball, and I would have said he put it in his own half of the pack, but there you are. And it's Mather who takes that ball, and he's still going strong, and a pass back inside there to Moses, and Moses has taken play within 10 yards of the Keighley line, and Keighley's certainly throwing this ball about, and in most cases backing up. And a pass back inside to Hawksworth, and Hawksworth down the centre, just lost his little bit of the fire he had last season, but still doing well. He plays the ball forward, and he's still going for the line, and he's only 5 yards short of the line, and the referee says he knocked on. So it's a scrum down right on the Jubilee line, about 15 yards in from touch on the far side of the field. And at this stage, with 31 minutes gone, the score is still Keighley 8, Jubilee 0. Henry.
Yes, I was just going to say that I think Mick Hawksworth is playing with some real fire today, and it's probably a good thing that he's playing an amateur team today. It'll give him his confidence back.
Yeah. Right. Jubilee with the ball, trying to clear their own line. That brought play to within 15 yards from the try line there on the far side of the field. And the referee doesn't like something. I think Mick Hawksworth holding the player down there in that play the ball. And so it's a free kick for Jubilee, and it looks like their centre Howarth who's going to take the kick. And Howarth places the ball. He takes a place kick when he kicks for touch. It's a good one, and pushes play back to midway between the halfway line and the Jubilee 25 line on the far side of the field. And most of the play has actually been in the Jubilee half of the field. And the sun has now disappeared completely from this pitch as the prop forward, Ward, puts his head down and charges forward before he's pulled down. And it's another Jubilee forward there. They play the ball, one pass, down with his head and forward. But now they're throwing the ball about a little bit, coming across the line with the ball, but it's the number 10, Wayne, who's tackled in possession on the halfway line. And at the moment it's the number 12, Sheldon, tackled, and Jubilee making 3 or 4 yards with each play the ball, but not opening play out. And back to number 8, Ward, and he's tackled in possession, and it's the 6th tackle. It's the 6th tackle now. So the ball goes back, and it's a kick through. A nice kick through, and oh dear me, that was a bad mistake. They got in each other's way, and Jubilee still have the ball. A bad mistake indeed. Somebody should have called for that ball, and nobody did. So we're back to one tackle again, and it's Jubilee still in possession in the Keighley half of the field, midway between the halfway line and the Keighley 25 line. They play the ball there, and it's the loose forward who dummies as if the pass, doesn't do so. He's still going forward, and he's tackled a couple of yards short of the Keighley 25. Now Jubilee throwing the ball about across the right this time, and it's come out to their centre, 3/4 Keighley. He slips, turns and slips, and he's tackled in possession. And now pass across to the number 11, and he won't get his pass in. Booth, he's tackled just short of the 25 line. And the Jubilee crowd on this side of the field shouting all their worth. And an up and under there by the scrimmage half, and it's anybody's ball. It's bouncing all over the place. Caught by the wingman, who's kicking for try. Kicked over the line, but the ball went dead. And how lucky can you be? The number 7, Sheldon, kicked the ball. It almost went straight across the field. It bounced. There were 2 Keighley players, and the wingman Ellis on the far, the wingman Davis on the far side, and he finished up with the ball and so nearly scored. So, tap out from the 25 line, Keighley in possession. Fairhurst trying to make a way forward there, clearing the line a bit. 35 minutes gone in the first half of this game, and Proctor there with the ball, and we're on the 10-yard mark, 10 yards from the halfway line, and Keighley leading 8-0 in a very exciting game this afternoon. Now then, a switch move there, a planned move. Hawksworth down the middle of the field, and he's away, and he's got support, and it's gone to Butterfield, a pass there, and it looks like a try. No, he's short, a yard short with Rowan support, and a drop pass, and it's loose, and it's anybody's. And a knock on. Oh dear me. Why that should have been a try. Should have been a try. A final pass to Rowe would have done it, but I think Johnson thought he could get there, but he was tackled just inches short.
It's the backing up that's pleasing me. There were 4 or 5 blokes there then.
Yes.
And it's great.
A good break by Hawksworth, good backing up, but really I feel that a try ought to have been on the cards there. Don't you think so, Henry?
Oh, I do, definitely. I really feel that Johnson probably
thought
he could do it.
Offside there, and a quick kick taken, and here's a chance here. There's enough any support if the ball comes out, and it didn't come out quick enough. And a play there, and out to Bargett on the wing, and Bargett's tackled in possession, and really all credit to Jubilee, whose covering has been excellent. They've given Keighley no chance whatsoever. And now it's Johnson trying to find a way through. I mean, that has been a feature of this game, has been the Jubilee tackling and covering. Keighley would have had 3 or 4 tries, but for excellent covering. And now it looks at the moment like Fairhurst trying to find a way to that Jubilee line. And to play the ball. And I can't see what it is. It looks like Hawksworth over the line for a try. Hawksworth over the line for a try. Another 4 points. But really the only thing that has kept Keighley out on 2 or 3 occasions, I'm not saying we've been camped on their line, but when we've made these good breaks, has been good Jubilee tackling and covering.
Excellent tackling. That was an absolutely superb tackle, but you know, Mick Hawksworth back in his prime is having it may be easy, you see, for him today, but it's giving him all the confidence. They're running onto balls at Keighley, fast, taking them fast and backing up. And last week, honestly, was a complete disaster at Sheffield. You cannot believe that most of those players were on that field at Sheffield when you see them playing today. And they've everything to play for. First round proper against Huddersfield at home. It just lends itself, doesn't it?
Well, thank you, Henry. And as Henry adds those few comments, and the clock is almost on the 40 minutes mark, it's Fairhurst who's going to try and put 2 more points on the board. Keighley now leading by 12 points to 0. Fairhurst going to try and make it 14, but a difficult kick. It's on the 25 line and about 8 yards in from touch. So he'll do well to kick this one. He kicks. It's going to be short. It is. It's short. So Keighley 12, Jubilee 0, and about 40 minutes on the clock. There's no injury time, but the referee did stop the clock once to talk to the crowd down here, who are still only a couple of feet from the touchline side. Kick off there, and it's a good one, and it's caught by Fairhurst, and he's tackled in possession. And a playback, and Hawksworth on the run, obviously beginning to enjoy this game, as Henry said, beginning to get back into action. Took that ball on the run, a beautiful burst there, and now on the far side of the field it's Turner who's taking men with him as he forges downfield and pushes play well into the Jubilee half of the field. And now a kick there by Moses. It's an up and under. There's people coming up for it. It's running loose. It's going over the line. And a try! No! The referee won't give it.
The referee's quite right. He knocked it forward.
Says he knocked it forward. No try.
Give the referees due. He'd run all the way.
Yes, he's refereeing well this afternoon. Is Mr. Kenrew refereeing well. So it's a tap out from the 25 line with Jubilee with the ball. Jubilee with the ball at the moment, 10 yards outside their own 25 line. And a dummy there, and a long pass across, out to loose forward, on the far side of the field, out to the number 6, Beddies, but Beddies is tackled in possession. And that was a dummy as if to kick, but it didn't come off by this loose forward, number 13, and there goes the hooter at the end of the first half, with Keighley leading by 12 points to 0.
Thank you, Geoffrey, and just a quick comment that the Keighley team are playing rejuvenated rugby. It's absolutely superb stuff. Perhaps a little calmness, that have had more tries, but some superb tackling by Jubilee. An excellent game this afternoon, and a great cheer from the Jubilee supporters as they go off, and I've been pleased to hear instead of singing Jubilee, 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 the Keighley ladies team, who've now got changed around. Featherstone Jubilee, the leading amateur club, second in the Senior Premier League of the Amateur Yorkshire Rugby League, to play Keighley, and a huge cheer for Keighley as they come back onto the field. Well deserved, 12 points to 0 in Keighley's favour when we finish the half. And the sun which may have bothered the Jubilee players in the first half will not bother the Keighley players because it's already gone down. And it's Keighley to kick off. Keighley playing left to right on your screen as Paul Moses places the ball, and Mr. Kendu said let's go, and I've never heard such a noise down at Lorcombe Lane for years as this crowd are making this afternoon, as they get more and more tanked up as the afternoon goes on. Paul Moses, a long deep kick down towards the Jubilee line, going to be finally picked up by wingman number 5 there for Jubilee, Davis. Big powerful lad. He's finally thumped down about 15 yards short, and the referee might have shouted hell before he had to be put down. And Turner, the Keighley player, did definitely hold Davis down there. Free kick to Jubilee, 15 yards from their own line, and Howarth, the centre 3/4, will kick for this touchline. Places the ball every time, does this lad. The light just fading a little bit, and he kicks into the stand. It comes, hits the red girder in front of us and bounces on somebody's head. And great cheer. Keighley back to the halfway line, and the short tap penalty will be taken by Norris to stand loose forward for Jubilee. The ball to the right there to colleague, turned inside there to number 10 Wayne, front row forward, going right toward the other front row forward, who then be pulled down, still 5 yards inside his own half in the centre of the field. To Sheldon, the scrum half, to Jackson, the loose forward hooker, he's pulled down the halfway line. Still 12-0 in Keighley's favour, and no doubt this team having a good talking to by the ex-Featherstone player Lim. Lovely break here by number 3 Kellett. The ball goes loose, swung out there to the right to number 10 Wayne, but he's held midway between the Keighley 25 and the halfway line. Little jinking run by Norris, finds a player over on the right. A nice break up to the 25. This could be dangerous as the ball's turned inside to wingman there. Ellis, elusive little runners, turns inside 2 men, 5 yards from the Keighley line. And the 6th tackle coming up, I think, and the ball goes loose. It's knocked on. Keighley ball, I think, referee Mr. Kendrew said no, knock on, scrum down, 15 yards out from the Keighley line, 15 yards in from the far touch. But a neat little move there by the Jubilee players. Open Keighley up. Number 10 Wayne had a good run there. Keighley ball, and it's Johnson going to be tackled by his opposite number, Bettis, before he's made a yard. Johnson for Keighley, stand off. Back to Moses, and the ball off Mick Hawksworth's legs, knocked on, and this could be dangerous. Ward turns it inside there to Colley. It's going for the line, pulled down a yard short. Oh my goodness, see, they just stood there at Keighley. This could be dangerous. It's Booth here, second row forward, being pushed back. Finally goes down 5 yards from the Keighley line, held, played back to the hooker to the right there. To number 10, Wayne, a powerful run a minute ago, makes another one towards the Keighley post and yanked down a few yards short. But all Jubilee at the moment, putting the pressure on Keighley. Norris turns the ball inside beautifully to Sheldon, the captain, and he's pulled down a yard short. And they've certainly had a pep talk out to the right to stand off Bettis. Bettis, long gangling runner, pulled down. 6th tackle coming up, says Mr. Kendrew. And it's Sheldon, the scrum half, a long pass out to the right there to the centre. Looking around for support, finds it. Player coming into the field here. In midfield, back to Norris, and he's tackled, and it's change over, Keighley ball, and I bet Keighley are glad to see that happen. I bet you are, Jeff.
I am that.
It's looked dodgy. Really sloppy play for a moment by Keighley. And it strikes me that Mick Hawksworth stopped a stray one. The Keighley trainer's on. Fairhurst with the ball for Keighley, takes play up to the Keighley 25, in 15 yards from the far touch, plays it to himself, decides to go on. 5 yards outside the Keighley 25. Keighley clearing the line, but they want to buck their ideas up and not get complacent, because this team are too good to be complacent again. And it's Green to Bragger. Bragger, a long pass out to Joe Bargett. Bargett turns inside, gets the ball away to a colleague, Adam Fisher. He couldn't accept the pass. Scrum down. 5 yards inside the Keighley half, 10 yards in from this near side touch, and I think Joe Bargett should have stuck to the ball there.
I do. I mean, they're spoiling it. I mean,
they're trying to
passing,
do, yes,
but they're doing
yes.
1 too many.
That's right. 5 minutes gone, still 12-0 in Keighley's favour. Jubilee ball going right. Fullback Smith into the line, tackled midway between the Keighley 25 and the halfway line. And Peter Rowe shouting to his troops. As Len Sheldon, the captain, second row forward, tackled once, comes down. Beautiful tackle there by little Paul Moses. Old Mossy. The ball goes right. Well picked up from his toes by a Jubilee player there. I can't see his number at the moment. Excellent play. And Jubilee come back onto this field with a bit of fire. Long pass out to the left fast. Bettis, the stand-off half, tries to turn inside, runs into trouble, but up to the Keighley 25. Jubilee still in possession. I think it's the longest they've had the ball. They've had it nearly all this half. An atrocious pass from Sheldon, the scrum half, to Norris. Norris turns, changes direction, gives it to number 4. The centre is racing for the line, turns inside the full-back and falls. Luckily for Keighley, number 4 there. Howarth slipped, and there was such a gap and a little kick through. The ball dropped on, and it's all Jubilee, and what a gap opened up there in the Keighley defence. And it's Peter, it's Mather the wingman, beats one man, 2, chases the referee past the full-back, looking round for support, but a lovely run by Steve Mather, the Keighley winger. Coming right, Little ball Moses, beautiful pass to Hawksworth. Hawksworth sees the gap, lost the ball, come off a Jubilee player, and Joe Bargett didn't go down on it. He kicked it ahead, it went into touch, and the referee, I think, is bringing them back for a forward pass anyway. 10 yards inside the Keighley half on this side of the field, and the Jubilee supporters are beginning to sing again, and I'm not surprised. Come on, Keighley ladies, let's hear us singing from you. The referee's not satisfied. Keighley pack can't go down. In fact, Hooker Proctor is not even down. He can't get down. It's down now. In it goes. Jubilee ball out to Bedis. The standoff tries to beat off little Johnson. The standoff for Keighley, but a very good tackle by him and Moses. But away to the right it goes. And Norris, the loose forward, who's really coming to his own, and the ball picked up there by another Jubilee player as it was knocked on. The referee didn't see it, so Jubilee still in possession. And Norris has just come to life, this loose forward. He's doing some elusive running and some good ball distribution. And he's pulled down the halfway line in the centre of the field. But it's been all Jubilee these 8 minutes. Right it goes there toward the front row forward. And I don't know what they've had at the break, but my goodness me, they've got some fire in them again. Probably think that this is their last chance. They've got to do it now or it won't work, as Sheldon gets a pass into a colleague over on the right there. It's Wayne, the front row, and he's stopped a stray one, and a kick ahead in. That's a better one by Mick Sheldon, and Joe Bargett racing in, and he ball torn out of his hands, but it came off a Jubilee player back to Butterfield. Is it? No, it's not. It's one of the Keighley players. Paul Moses is always there in dangerous, young Paul. And there, the referee saw him. It's number 12, Booth, who's an idiot and was earlier on. Put one in on Rob Proctor. Rob won't feel it. He's anaesthetised to playing like that. Just as long as he can get his finger up Chumley's nose, he doesn't mind.
The difference has been, Henry, that Jubilee have had the ball and kept it. We've got it and lost it.
That's right. It's perfectly true, Jeff. Kick by John Green, not a good one. Takes play 10 yards outside the Keighley 25 on this side of the field. That's where the tap penalty will be taken. 12 points to Keighley, as Turner, the front row for Keighley, brings play away, and the referee has seen it, and this is where I'm worried about the crowd on the touchline, Jeff. He's going to book him. He's sending him off, I think, is he? No, he's going to book him. Is it Howarth, the centre? Number 4. It is Howarth, the centre. And he's telling him, and he's giving him so many minutes in the sin bin, I would think. Yes. Is he? Well, Howarth's walking off the field, and Norris is being told as well, keep your mouth shut. Free kick to Keighley. And Wayne is going to be substituted here. Oh, he's here on the field. I thought he had been sent off because he took a red card out, did the referee, but he hasn't. And they're trying to make a substitution here. Clock stopped. Number 14 coming on. Does that? Walker is coming on for Wayne, who's had a good game in the front row. And those people on the touchline not on at all. He's telling him stay off until I'm satisfied with the referee. Right, tap penalty taken by Moses to Adam Fisher. Adam Fisher in the second row. Couldn't get his pass in, was trying to do. Held there by Ward. Plays it back to Moses, plays it to himself. Decides to charge in to the Jubilee 25. Adam Fisher having a very good game this afternoon. We've needed another good second rower. To Moses. Moses ducks, passes there to Jeff Butterfield, who's coming on the burst. And all the Keighley team fooled as well as us as to what Paul Moses was going to do with the field. Coming left now to Fisher, to Green. Green in the centre of the field, going to be held 20 yards out there from the Jubilee line. 12 minutes gone in this second half. 12 points to Keighley, 0 to Jubilee. Can we make anything of this? And there's a free kick, and I'm sure that Peter Rowe's going to tell Fairhurst to have another pot at goal, and he is doing. Should be a relatively easy kick. It's directly in front of the post, about 20 yards out, and the referee, Mr. Kendrew, is signalling there. Walker's coming on. Gary Ward, it's Wayne, isn't it? No, it is. No, it's way. Well, we've got them the wrong way around then. Never mind, it doesn't really matter. Can Ian Fairhurst increase the lead? And it looks as though Turner's coming off, and number 15 for Keighley, Pitts, is coming on as Ian Fairhurst tries to kick the penalty. Straight through, 14 to Keighley, 0 to Jubilee. And I think the substitution is going to take place. And Turner, the front row for Keith, had a very good game coming off, and on goes Pitts in his place. A fresh player at this time, probably a good idea. It balances up Walker on the Jubilee side. 30 minutes gone then in the second half of this John Player preliminary round. Keith in the lead of 14 points to Jubilee's 0. As Mick Hawksworth brings play outside the Keighley 25, 15 yards in from this near side touch. Pitts goes in, and I thought Walker there in his pristine white kit put one in, but the referee was on top of the play. Left it goes to Moses. Moses there to Johnson. Johnson to Green, and Green's having an absolute blind, beautiful pass there. Couldn't be accepted by Mather. He's gone back to collect it, but it was a knock-on, but a lovely underarm pass round the body of the man tackling him. And it couldn't be accepted, and really John Green is an absolute find for Keighley from New Zealand. He reminds David Brown it so well from Australia, but John Green's another one.
Playing a storming game.
Absolutely, every game he plays in, he plays a stormer. And it's Jubilee ball out to the right winger there. They're getting the ball from the pack now. It's Ellis with it, tackled in possession to a colleague. To Sheldon, turns inside past to Booth. Booth to Walker. Walker back to Norris. Norris changes direction of play and pass it to Len Sheldon, and he's pulled down 10 yards in from touch just outside the Keighley 25 on the far side of the field. Almost 15 minutes gone. Jubilee trying to find a way through. Howarth. No, it's not Howarth, it's Kellett, is it? And it's Walker. Substitute forward on. Looks a likely lad as well. Takes play up to the 25. Out to the right there, little kick ahead in by number 3. This could be dangerous. Kicks for the line. Who's going to get to it? The referee says yes, try. Touch judge, he looked at the touch judge, and the Jubilee player got to it first. Very good kick through there, and a very well taken try by number 3, Kellett, I think it was. Can't see from here at the moment. And that's put them back in this, and the Jubilee supporters are away again.
Definitely Jubilee have played much better this half, and in fact most of the play has been in the Keighley half of the field.
It has indeed, and as you said, they've retained possession when they've got it, and that was a very neat kick through there that opened the Keighley lineup. I thought Jeff Butterfield was going to get to it, but he didn't. And at the moment Keighley are having a prayer meeting over behind the line. And Howarth kicks, hard luck, excellent kick just outside the post. So it was Kellett, as I thought, who scored the try. So it's 14 points to Keighley, 4 to Jubilee with 15 minutes gone, and that's put them back in the game and will have given them some heart, because as Jeff said, they are playing so well in the second half of Featherstone Jubilee, the amateur team. I think Keighley have been a little bit complacent this half as well, Jeff. I mean, they started off a bit complacent, didn't they? They did, not picking the ball up when it was loose. Moses kicks off, going to put them back in possession. Wayne, the front row forward with it, no. Tackled Sheldon outside his own 25, the ball going right, and they all go now. And Keighley need this ball, and we haven't had it from the scrums either, have we? And now the referee has penalised Paul Moses, who got his face rubbed in the muck there. Furious about it. Anyway, it's free kick. Howard's going to take it from midway between his own 25 and the halfway line for this near side touch. It's a good one, it's a high one, but it isn't going to go in. And Butterfield waits for it to bounce, collects on his 25, decides to run straight up the middle of the field, and he's run into trouble. He's tackled, but Keighley in possession. Now, come on, can we do anything with this ball? Proctor with it, trying to run on his own, almost up to the halfway line. 17 minutes gone. And Sheldon then, number 7, really asking for it. Moses to Fairhurst first, dummies as if to give it. And Pitts gets stuck into somebody. He hadn't even got the ball and he was being tackled. Left for Keighley to Johnson. Somebody's got to take the ball in the burst, and it's Green. Breaks through, looking around, gets a beautiful pass in there, and again it can't be accepted. Right into his arms he put it. And Peter Rowe could not accept that pass, and it bounces off him into touch. So it's a scrum down midway between the Jubilee 25 and the halfway line, and we haven't been getting the ball from the scrums. And we're not going to get that because it went in his own second row. Anyway, Mr. Kendrew doesn't agree either. And but for this stanchion in the stand, I'd see what was going on. But it's going to be a Jubilee ball. And surely Keighley offside there. Must be. And we're not getting the ball at all. There's something gone wrong in the pack. Howarth to kick for touch. This penalty. 10 yards inside his own half. And it's all Featherstone Jubilee this half. Finds a good touch midway between. No, it's 10 yards outside the Keighley 25. Over on the far side of the field, and this vociferous support they're getting from their spectators here today, exhorting them on to another try, and of course another try and a goal, and we really could be in trouble. And as I've said, we always play better downhill, Jeff. Jeff looking very worried next to me here as Walker makes ground up to the Keighley 25, 10 yards in from the far touch. Ball swung over to the left there, neat little pass there to the fair-haired Wayne. He's tackled just outside the Keighley 25 in the centre of the field. Jubilee really throwing this ball about, they're trying everything. Norris coming into this, gets a lovely pass into Booth, the second row forward, and he's pulled down. Good move, and somehow Norris seems to have gained in confidence. A long pass out to the left there. Goes into touch, luckily, off the hands of number 5 Davis, the left winger, for a scrum down just outside the Keighley 25 on this side of the field, 10 yards in from touch. 14-4 in Keighley's favour, but they're not looking very convincing at the moment. We're certainly not getting the ball. And in it. Yes, and the referee has penalised Featherstone Jubilee for not allowing the Keighley pack to get down. 2 or 3 of them were trying all the time. All Pitts was doing was knocking the arm of his opposite number away. But it's John Green to kick for this near side touch from the Keighley 25. And it goes a bit darker, not a good kick, but it's safely into touch midway between his own 25 and the halfway line. Now can we hang on to this ball long enough to do something with it? Tap penalty, Rock Proctor to Moses. Moses back inside there to Pitts. Pitts runs straight into 2 Jubilee players and doesn't make any headway at all. Proctor to Moses on the left. Moses turns it inside to Hawksworth, and really the fire seems to have gone out of Keighley at the moment.
Yes, they're playing it up the middle instead of opening it out as they were doing towards the end of the first half.
Neat little move there, finds John Green, slices his way through, looking round for support, gets it now to Proctor, and Proctor is going through and should have moved that ball. It's 7 men up and 2 against him, and I can hear somebody in the crowd suggesting he moves it. Coming out to the left here to Fairhurst. Fairhurst having to throw his pass to Butterfield. Butterfield through there to Hawksworth. Hawksworth to Bragger. Bragger on the right here, racing for the corner. Turns it inside to Bargett, and Bargett.
It's been the last little bit of finishing that's been wrong. Mind you, as opposed to in all fairness,
and Peter Rowe is suggesting the lights are switched on. He's pointing to the bench. The players can't see what's going on. And it's going to be a free kick to Jubilee, 10 yards from their own line. Howarth going to kick for this near side touch. And I thought at last I was going to have a try in my period of commentary, but it is not to be, with a tap penalty to be taken just outside the Jubilee 25 and the score 14-4 in Keighley's favour. I'm going to hand you over to Jeff for continuation of commentary.
And thank you. And at this point, the referee has stopped the game and he is moving the crowd back that are still standing on the touchline side. He's told them to move and they're not moving. They're still not moving. They're still on that touchline side in the way. And we put the clock back on again, and it's a tap penalty there taken by Jubilee, and it's out to their number 5 Davies, who'll be tackled in possession there, 10 yards in from touch, midway between the halfway line and the Jubilee 25. So it's Jubilee who've had a lot of fire this half and have really been on top. And as I say that, the lights come on, and so we can probably see a little bit better what's going on. and Jubilee forward, I think it's their number 11, Booth, tackled on the halfway line, gets up to play the ball, plays it back to the scrum half, a long pass out there, it should be a Keighley ball, picked up there by Hawksworth, going upfield, nobody to pass to. A loose ball there, and it's Keighley in possession, and Green's gone the wrong way, and then he's run into trouble, and he's had the ball taken off him. Had the ball taken off him in the middle of the field. And the touch judge on. I don't know what's going to happen here, but Green is being called out. There's a player out on the ground. Hawksworth out, head injury by the look of it. Two players out on the ground, Hawksworth and Norris. Both loose forwards, stop the clock while they have treatment. And Hawksworth is beginning to come round. And Green has been penalised, and nothing seems to be going Keighley's way this half. Still leading by 14 points to 4, of course, and 20 minutes gone in the game. The referee starts the clock again, but things certainly not going Keighley's way. They're losing possession far too much when they get it. Kick for touch, and it's a tap. Penalty now taken midway between the halfway line and the Keighley 25, and it's Jubilee in possession, and a long pass out there to the number 11, and a ball loose there, picked up by Green. He's only got to pass it, he's got men in support, and he didn't pass. He'd men in support on the far side of the field, but he didn't pass, he elected to stick with the ball. On occasion when he should have passed. So over to the far side, and it looks to me like Fairhurst who's taking play to the halfway line. So that's a little bit of relief for Keighley. Now let's see if they can make progress with it. The ball coming right across at the moment, and it's a long pass out there which Hawksworth drops, and it's a scrum, and as I said before, nothing's going Keighley's way at the moment, and when they get that ball they lose it. So it's a scrum in the centre of the field, and if this goes according to pattern, they won't get the ball from the scrum either. Centre of the field, midway between the halfway line and the Keighley 25 line, and it's a Jubilee ball. They loose forward round the blind side round the far side rather of the pack, out to the centre, Howarth, and he's tackled in possession. Play the ball now, and it's the loose forward. Norris, who turns the ball inside, but good Keighley tackling there, and that little move is broken up. And now their standoff, Bedis there, a nice run, takes play onto the 25 line. So it's Jubilee with the ball on the Keighley 25 line, and another tackle there. We must be coming up with a sixth tackle soon. Keighley being waved back on side at this play the ball. Now the ball moving across to the Jubilee left. Oh, and a nice pass out there to the centre, and he's so nearly got through. That was Howarth, so nearly got through, and it's sixth tackle. Now it will be a kick. It's an up and under. It's a good one. Well caught. Well caught there, I think, by Johnson. It's difficult to tell in this light, but well caught indeed. And a relieving run now on the far side of the field. One of the forwards taking play towards the touchline side. Back to Moses. Moses dummies if to pass, doesn't do so, finally does so. Putting a pass to Rowe. Rowe going upfield, and he'll be tackled on the 25 line. So Keighley always seem to have been struggling this half. Now a nice run there, and I can't see who it is at the moment. It's Proctor with one of his typical runs. Now Keighley opening the ball out. Let's see what happens here. It's gone to Green. Green, a storming run. Did get his pass in to Johnson, and he's lost the ball. It's been kicked out of his hand. There's a chase for the ball. So Keighley no, back we come for a knock-on. And so back we come to the midway between the Jubilee 25 and the halfway line. Once again we've lost the ball at a critical moment. You could argue that most of them are half chances, of course, but nevertheless we've lost it, and it's a Jubilee ball and a knock-on. And the Jubilee scrum half, Sheldon knows he knocked on, he's hitting the ground in disgust. Now it's a Keighley ball this time, and it's come out to Johnson. Johnson, nice burst there, out to Rowe. Rowe hasn't put a pass in, he's still going strong, and he's got his pass in, and it looks like a try for Keighley. Yes! Mather on the far side, ran round the wingman, and a try for Keighley. And let's be fair about that, that was good finishing by Mather, but superb centre play by Rowe, who looked as though he should have passed earlier, didn't do so, and in the final instance got his pass away when it didn't look as though there was a half chance.
The men when he swerved inside.
Yeah. So that puts it 18 to Keighley, 4 to Jubilee, 25 minutes gone, quarter of an hour left to play. And we look as though we're going to have a substitution, but we don't know who at the moment.
Ricky Winterbottom.
It's Ricky Winterbottom coming on, but we don't know who's coming off at the moment. Ricky Winterbottom coming on, but we don't know who's coming off. It looks as though Rowe's coming off. We're holding up a number 4. We've got a number 4 card. Now Fairhurst kicks, and it's a good one. It's a good one. 20. Yes. Peter Rowe's coming off. Ricky Winterbottom's coming on. That's it.
Yes.
And so it's Keighley from the kickoff, caught there by Fairhurst and tackled in possession midway between the halfway line and the 25 line, and played the ball, and it was Fisher there who took play forward, and at the moment a free kick against Hawksworth for knee up when he was running. Knee up when he was running, free kick to Jubilee. So once again, Keighley, having got possession, have lost it again.
Yeah, but I think that was an unfair decision actually. Hawksworth was simply running, and he runs with his knees well up. The referee penalised him for it. It's on.
So it's Jubilee, tap penalty, midway between the halfway line and the Keighley 25 line, and it's their number 14 Walker who takes the ball to the Keighley 25 line near the centre of the field. So once again, pressure by Jubilee in the Keighley half of the field, and the number 8 Ward is tackled near the centre of the 25 line. A ball going across, not a very good ball at all, but it's been picked up by Walker, who's tackled in possession. No, it wasn't Walker, it was a loose forward. No, he's tackled in possession almost immediately. And the ball's still going, but it's going to Walker this time, and he'll be tackled in possession. And so Jubilee with the ball once again. And a pass out there, and they're keeping it in the forwards. This seems to be the strength, this seems to be where they play. And it's 6 tackles, so no doubt we'll have it up and under here. And it's supposed to be, but it's gone right across field. It's anybody's ball. It's been caught by the wingman, and he's been bundled into touch on the far side of the field. So it's a scrum down, right on the 25 line. The Keighley 25 on the small stand side of the field. I think the clock stopped, Henry.
I do.
That's my view. It looks to have been at 25 past for a long time.
About 10 minutes, Jim.
Yeah. So it's Keighley possession from that scrum. No, it isn't. Jubilee possession. Thought it was Keighley possession, but it isn't. It's Jubilee possession on the far side of the field. It's ball's come inside to the stand-off half Beddies, but he's tackled on the 25 line in the centre of the field. So we'll have to guess the time from now on. We think about 10 minutes left to play. And number 14, Jubilee number 14, Walker's tackling possession there. They're moving the ball across to the right. A turn back inside. They're still keeping that ball going. This looks quite dangerous, and it's the loose forward, Norris, who's finally tackled about 20 yards from the Keighley line in the centre of the field. He plays that ball forward. He's put in a long pass back to number 14, Walker, and he's tackled in possession. And we're on 6th tackle again, and no doubt we shall have another up and under, which could be dangerous. A long pass out there. A kick, it's a sneaky one through, and it's been well caught, I think, by Moses, yes, who does a little jinking run, sticks to the ball, and there's a playback. And at the moment, I think it's Mather. It's getting very difficult to see in these lights, Henry, on the far side of the field.
More bulbs in. It's this half light that's the trouble, isn't it?
And a nice move there. Nice little pass back to the far side, and Proctor tackled in possession, and the touch judge is on. And it looks like a Keighley player in trouble there.
Well, it's Pitts, isn't it? Must be Pitts, he's got clean shorts.
It's Pitts, we think, which is rather silly when Keighley had the ball.
So absolutely thrown it away.
Once again, we have lost possession, which has been the sad story of Keighley this half. Of course, we're winning 20 points to 4, which is good, and we've played some good rugby. But on the other hand, thinking of the future and thinking of better teams that we'll play, we can't afford to give the ball away as often as we have done in this half of the game. So Jubilee with the ball on the 25 line on the far side of the field. Tap, penalty, and a long pass out there. Oh, well caught by somebody taking that ball on the burst, and he's tackled in possession. I think it's the loose forward. And a free kick there to Jubilee in front of the posts.
Kicking Moses,
for not
kicked him up in the air. Moses took a swing.
For not letting the player get up and play the ball. So what are the Jubilee going to do? They're going to have a kick at goal. Howard's going to have a kick at goal. He's going to try and add 2 more points to their score. He should kick this. It's a relatively easy position. It's in the centre of the field, just inside the 25 line. He runs up and kicks. It's a good one. So that puts another 2 points on the Jubilee score, and Jubilee are going to bring on another substitute by the look of it. And number 15 is going on, and coming off is the hooker Jackson, and in his place is Barker.
The clock's just caught up, there's 2 minutes left.
And the clock's just caught up, and according to that clock we've only got 2 minutes left to play, but of course there is injury time. So Keighley leading 20 points to 6. The scoreboard has not yet been altered. So as a ball is kicked upfield, caught in the centre of the field by the Jubilee forward. It's one of the prop forwards, Wayne I think, and he's tackled in possession. Now a long pass out there to this sub Barker that's come on, but he's well held on the 10-yard mark outside the Jubilee 25. And their hooker, Jackson, having a run there. And back across to Barker on the far side of the field. A big, rangy forward. And he's tackled. And there's a Keighley player out on the far side of the field. I can't see who it is. And now the ball moving across this way. And oh! So nearly an interception. So nearly an interception, but a knock-on by the centre 3/4 Howarth for Jubilee, and so it will be a scrum. And according to the clock, we've just about played time, but there have been a number of stoppages this half, so I should think there'll be a good 4 minutes to add on. Right, Keighley put the ball in, and we got it, but the referee says it never went in properly, and the props at this side are fighting for the arm. Ball goes in again, and it's a Keighley ball out. And that was dangerous. Oh, and a loose ball. Once again, we lose it, but managed to recover it, and that was very lucky indeed. So it's Keighley in possession on the far side of the field, and it's Butterfield there. And Keighley bunching rather badly at the moment, I feel, and not really looking as though they're going to do anything with this ball. And the touch judge on for an incident there. This looks like a free kick to Keighley this time, I think. Yes, free kick to Keighley. Incident in the tackle there. Keighley's certainly looking a little bit disorganised at the moment. They were bunching badly then. If Jubilee had got the ball and opened up, they would have been in trouble. So Green kicks for touch on the far side of the field. He only makes about 10 yards, but at least it's safe, and Keighley still have the ball. And so it's Keighley with the ball on the far side of the field, and as Henry says, the clock has stopped again. So we've no real idea as to just how we're doing for time at the moment. So it's Proctor, takes the tap on the far side of the field, puts in a pass, switches direction, and it's a run up the far side, and a loose ball, which they miss once again, and Jubilee in possession. There were many support, but not at that particular point. So Jubilee in possession near their own line. Play back, and oh, there's a lost ball there. It should be a Keighley ball. It is, and a long pass out, and a kick through, and somebody held there, and a loose ball kicked over the line, so it will be a drop out from under the post.
Some results from other matches this afternoon in the John Player Special Preliminary Round. Carlisle 6, Rochdale 24, West Hull 10, Castle 24. In the first division of the Rugby League, Halifax 18.
And a drop out from under the posts, caught by Moses. Pass there to Butterfield. Butterfield running upfield, brushes off one tackler but falls then eventually to two tacklers just outside the 25 line. Keighley moving the ball across Green, up the middle of the field. Thought he'd lost the ball for the moment then. He has. Knock on. He lost it. Knock on. Losing his grip on the ball, looked as though he was going to pass it, didn't do so and lost it, and so once again Keighley lose the ball when they get possession. Scrum there, and the Jubilee scrimmage half put the ball in the second row, but the referee lets play go. And so Jubilee with the ball, out to the wingman on the far side of the field, Ellis, but he's tackled 10 yards inside his own half of the field. And it's Walker at the moment, the substitute who takes play downfield. Keighley pushed back to the halfway line. Not a very interesting half this, not as lively or as interesting as the other half. And Jubilee in possession and back to 6 tackles, but they've been pushed back to midway between the halfway line and their own 25 line. And all Keighley have to do is to keep tackling, and oh, so nearly a break there, but a knock on. When anyone loses the ball in this game with this referee, it's a knock-on. It doesn't matter whether it goes forwards, backwards, upwards, or where it goes, it's a knock-on. At least he's been consistent in that, Henry.
Absolutely, from the very beginning.
So this ought to be a Keighley ball. It is, round the blind side of the pack. Now then, who's across there? It's Winterbottom, who's not going to make much ground, but at least he's kept the ball. So it's Keighley with the ball inside the half of the field, and it's Mather. Nice little run. And a free kick to Keighley, something in that tackle that they didn't like. Free kick to Keighley. And Mather's out at the moment. So it's kick for touch, and they're going to take a tap penalty now. And as I say, we've no real idea of what the time position is at all. We think it should be time. But the clock has stopped once again. And the Keighley team look to have lost all interest in this game. There's nobody up, they look tired, they look despondent. A good bursting run there, ball passed on, ball passed back, switching direction across the green, bounced off the floor, and a knock on again. And once again, I keep saying this, we lose the ball.
Rotten saying that, but
Henry thinks I shouldn't be rubbing that one in, but really we have lost it a number of times this half.
It should have been 40 points to 6.
So the packs go down again, and it's a Jubilee ball. And I think without exception in this game, whichever side has put the ball in has won it from the scrums. I think both scrimmage halves are feeding the second row. And a nice storming run there by the substitute Barker. Takes play to within 10 yards of the halfway line, and that was almost a breakthrough there. Keighley are going to have to watch their tackling. There can't be many more minutes left in this game, but they've got to watch it. And a nice grubbing kick through there, and it's a chase for the ball over the line, and it will go dead. Yes, dead over the line, drop out from under the posts.
Well, Mather recovered well from his injury to get back there.
Yeah, drop out from under the posts. And Keighley have struggled this half.
Playing uphill, Jeff, in the dark. It is dark, isn't it?
Very dark now, and the lighting may be good enough for playing rugby, but it's certainly not good enough for identifying numbers on jerseys. And a knock-on. Kick-off from under the posts, fielded by the Jubilee fullback Smith on the halfway line, and he knocks on for goal. Difficult position. And I think not only has the clock stopped, I think the hoot has stopped as well, because it must be time now. Fairhurst kicking from the 25 line right on the touchline side. And I will think this will be a very, very difficult one for him.
Because somebody turned the switch in the press box. We don't know how long it's been on.
Oh, I just understand that somebody's turned the switch in the press box and you didn't get that try. Well, it was a breakthrough there. A ball from Moses to Butterfield. Butterfield broke through beautifully, passed the ball to Mather, and Mather came right through and scored in the corner, and that was not a good kick. And there goes the hooter for time, with Keighley the winners by 24 points to 6 in what has been an interesting game, although the first half was much better than the second half. And certainly Jubilee, a very, very useful team. And so we'll leave you from Lorcombe Lane this afternoon. Hope you enjoyed it all. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Geoffrey, and from Henry Bird, Geoffrey Rundle and Marcus Smith, our cameraman, well, thank you. I'm so pleased for Keighley. They've got a nice little draw now here at home against Huddersfield in a fortnight's time, and let's hope they can go on from there. They deserve something. Thank you.